Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Trade Ideas pre-market show for Wednesday, September the 3rd. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. Thank you, Todd. You guys can hear me, see my screen. Somebody in YouTube, I think I made a mistake yesterday. Just wanting to see if anybody in YouTube can also hear me and see my screen. Just give me a yes. That'll help. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, what's happening as usual? STI up 137%. Let's see if there's any news on this one. Yeah, okay. So STI and Oak Ridge National Laboratory win a 2025 etc. award. So that is the news for STI, sorry. And on the monthly chart, it looks like, let me back this out a little bit. Looks like the next high on a monthly chart is here at 861. So about $1 to that next high. So a little bit, thank you, Pepe. A little bit of room left for SDI on a monthly chart anyway. They did have some news. BTB, this is some kind of BTBD, sorry. This is some kind of a merger. They're going to be merging with a company called Aero Velocity, and they will form a new company with says what the symbol is going to be. So that is BTBD. BTBD. And as always, look left. Look at the room this has got. 561, and low float, 3.1 million in the float. Look at the room it's got. BTBD, AIHS. Ooh, another one might have some room. Low float China. I don't see any news on it. I'm trying to look. I don't see any news on it in my headlines. 27 million shares are traded already. Got through all this so far. If you look at the daily chart, looks like the next high is 350 right there. Then if it takes that out, 360. So it's got a little, no, the ideal thing, take out 4. Yeah, the ideal thing, if it could somehow take out 4, because if it takes out 4 and look left, it's got a ton of room here and here. So you never know. I'm going to put a price alert in that 4 level just to see if it gets close anyway. Macy's, drop. There we are. Macy's actually is an earnings play. Yeah, big move for Macy's, guys. 14%. Yeah, big move for Macy's. This weekly chart today through the 200-day moving average for Macy's M. This is a cheap earnings play, as GEG is a cheap earnings play. Had released earnings after hours yesterday, got up to almost $5. One of those ones you might want to watch on the open, see if it has a move immediately. LPTH, they secured an $18.2 million purchase order for its advanced infrared camera system. So that is LPTH, not a low float, 41 million in the float. Triple U, this was from yesterday also. So Triple U, big day yesterday, and trying to continue today. Yesterday, it got up to about 711, and it closed down here at 578. So, of course, it's above yesterday's close. And this was the one it ran yesterday after a special dividend declaration. NBY, man, what a trader. NBY, see any specific news on it today, but another jump, a lot of volume already, 1.2 million shares, low float. Here's a little more of an expensive earnings play. It's done nothing so far. Well, it's chopped up and down a little bit, but REV or EVG, sorry. So this is an earnings play. This is no Revlon. No, heavy duty truck manufacturing. Okay, so this is an earnings play. No movement right now. Well, no movement compared to yesterday's close. Of course, it did pop up to $61 in the pre-market, and all the way down to 52. So a wide range in the pre-market so far for REVG. So this has been a wild one this morning. LCFY popped up to 770, back down to 475, underneath the VWAP right now. I looked at this press release. The pilot campaign generated 18 meetings and 130 warm leads. Okay, that was the press release for it, guys. That's for LCFY. It's up 16% now, but at one point it was up a huge amount. IREN. I see it anywhere right now, but IREN, all-time high. IREN, all-time high. VTBT made another high, guys, over 4 now. Yeah, this is an all-time high for IREN. I see your HIMS, Bjorn. I'm just seeing it right now. Big pop, yeah. You're in the gap ups. HIMS is gapping up now. Well, let's see. The next high looking left, pretty close, actually. Well, I mean, 44.36. I guess that's far enough away, but $1.30 away. But as you said, I don't see any news on it. If there's any big volume coming in. Yeah, 190,000 shares on this 15-minute bar. So yesterday, you see what it did. It got into the 200 moving average, but it did hold above. It's in on a steady decline since its deal with or Nova basically canceled the deal with them. All right, guys, VTVT over 4 now. Now the next high looking left got a lot of room still, guys. 562. Again, I'm not saying it's getting there, but it has a lot of room. And this is a combination with this arrow velocity to combine in an all-stop transaction. Under the terms, will merge and into, so they're going to merge into this arrow velocity. It looks like Arrow is not I just want to make sure. I don't think they're a public company. It doesn't look like they're a public company. So this is a private company. So tempting right now for me, over 4. Well, let's see if it has any sort of a pullback. I mean, it's got all that room. It's got all that room, guys. Yeah, Google. I have this GGLL guy. So if you thought Google was going to keep going, this is the long version, the ETF. Okay, double. Not a lot of volume. I mean, 512,000. It's certainly that's liquid enough. So again, all this ruling about having to perhaps having to gotten rid of Chrome or spun it off, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously that didn't happen. So that happened. That was after hours news for Google. So if you thought Google was going to continue higher, you could get double the move. So Google is obviously up 7%. This is a two-time ETF designed specifically for Google. And if you thought it was going to run out of steam, let's see. Yeah. So if you thought eventually Google was going to run out of steam, you could buy this one. It's only a one timer. Okay. You could buy this one, and if the stock Google was moving down, this one would be moving up. Not a lot of volume on it yet. So BTBT, yeah, another. It's a high right now, pre-market high right now. I think I mentioned LPTH. This is or maybe I didn't. I don't see it here right now. Yeah, here it is, LPTH. This is also an all-time high, guys. Is that right? Yeah, so I don't know if this was an earnings play. No, I mean, not an earnings play, but a SPAC or literally an IPO back way back here because it's very cheap to be an all-time high. But according to us, this is an all-time high for LPTH. Maybe it changed symbol names, and that is LPTH. A lot of volume. This is the one with the $18 million order. All-time high. And this is shortable for me. Also, 1 million shares available at a little over 1 million shares available Interactive Brokers for me. So it is shortable for me. All right, Airnet Technology, ANTE, so it's close to the high Friday. No volume yet, really, 33,000 shares, but it is moving. If there's any news on this one specifically today, I don't see it. Now, I have that SOGP thumbnail, so I am kind of paying attention to it. SOGP. What a day yesterday, yes. Started down here. Yeah, it opened right there at 1126. Closed pretty well, actually. The high of the day was around 23, so that's not a bad close for a stock like this. And the high, so let's see if did it take out the high? 23.28 is the high. So it did not take out that high in the pre-market. Put a price alert and see if it does it. I don't know where the lifetime high is, but it's very close. That might be it right there. All right, guys. Now with the market had a nice recovery yesterday. I mean, at one point, I remember the SPY was down about 10, only closed down about 4.7. So let's take a look at XLE and see where it is still moving away, kind of from the 200 day. And let's take a look at XLV. Now it's got its in its At least you can see the 200-day moving average for XLV. For many, many months, we could not even see it. So it's getting closer. So it's really the only one underneath that I know of. So here's XLF. I mean, at least you can see it, but it's still well above the 200-day moving average. Haven't gone through the major sectors for a while. Let's take a look at XLV. Yeah, it's still above it. Yeah, so I really think it's only XLV, still the only sector, and that's been like that for months, that is underneath the 200-day moving average. Here's a cheap earnings play, guys. There's no volume yet, only 6,000 shares, but this is Regis. So this is an earnings play for RGS. Yeah, the longer this holds over four, guys, it's a BTD. All the room it's got. Yeah, that daily high is the same as that weekly high. So yeah, all the room this has got, BTBT. Hearing this one on the way down, WVE, Wave Life Sciences, WVE on the way down. Company announced, are they doing the financing? Announced a no. So this is not. So this, whatever the data, well, they've released some data and the market is not reacting well to that data. Down now 24% now. And that is WVE. Wow. Now listen, now the low right there, 729, that low right there on the daily is 731, so it's below that now. And then 695. So, I mean, there's not that much room to what I consider could be some support, around the 7 level for WVE, already down 24%. Singapore, GEM, JEM. Let's see what's happening with this one. JEM, high looking left. That's got room. Look at this. JEM has got some room. Not very much volume yet, only 21,000. But it does have some room. 373 is the next high looking left on the daily. And this looks like it started trading as GEM back here this week of June this year. Any news on it? No PTH, guys. It's just holding over the whole number. High in the pre-market was 614, 615. No resistance. An all-time high. And it just took out that little price alert that I placed on the chart. You think Dollar Tree is going to break 100? Okay, let's take a look. Williams talking about surely DLTR breaks down below 100. Oh, it's an earning play. Okay, I don't have that on my list. It's just over the max I got. But yeah, earnings play. Would have snuck in. It's down 7%. The lowest I got here is 8%, 8.9%. So yeah, Dollar Tree underneath the 100. What would that mean if it did? Well, it depends what you mean by major news 161. I mean, this is the news. STI and Oak Ridge National Laboratory win a 2025 R&D 100. I mean, should it be moving up 125% of that because of that? Probably not. At least there is some, we can at least point to some small reason why it's going up. Sometimes we see these things moving, we have no idea. Yeah, but it's not just an award, Bjorn, it's a prestigious award. Come on. Well, it's the float, okay? I mean, listen, traders around the world, they just look at, they, grab onto anything. And when you have a float like that of 1 million, there's sort of, it's almost like they say, okay, you're it today. Okay. You are it today. You know, what was moving also a little bit earlier is this OPAD, guys. OPAD was moving earlier. It's been a nice one for a few days also. I have no shorts at Interactive Brokers for SDI, Bjorn. So I can only speak for Interactive Brokers, of course. But so on that weekly chart, it still has room. Yeah, it has room. 866, about a dollar to the next high for STI. Holding nicely. I mean, there's the VWAP. We're holding over the holding at the VWAP. All right, guys. I want to get the layout I'm going to use once this market opens. What's 930 happen? How nice. Also, I'm pretty sure our provide. Well, now that we're using dilution tracker for our lower market cap stocks, I think our floats are now, well, they're going to be bang on. They're going to be dilution trackers, so don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, guys, so I'm going to one little screen up here. So this is the same. You saw the pre-market actives up, that green screen I had before. This is the same one. I'm just looking at the top six, though. Okay, just looking at the top six here. If anything changes, we talked about SDI, ETBD, GEM, AIHS, with a little earnings planning, and the LPTA. So nothing new so far. DJ Tony Dredd, not in quotes. What happened to the quotes, DJ? In your name, of course. All right, guys. Well, again, the AIHS is got let's longer holds over three. You can look at it on the weekly chart. Yeah, so this is the one that has yeah, somehow, in fact, the high right there is 350. So 350 is we're trying to get through that. I'm sure it did this morning. Yeah, way over that this morning. So let's see if it takes that out again. That would be that high in that weekly chart. So actually, yeah, in the pre-market, it got up to 439, which broke through that four levels. So this could be the really interesting one, guys, if it really gets going again. Because I mean, look at the weekly chart. Look at my room. It's got $17. Not saying it's going to get there, of course, but it did this in the pre-market. It broke through that weekly high in the pre-market. It seemed to be a fair amount of well, a lot of volume, a lot of volume. This could be one of the number one watches, AIHS. And the market, okay, just looking at the overall market. Well, the SPY is up 2.5. So what was it down yesterday? It was down four, so almost recovered a couple of points, and then it'll be at Friday's close. Guys, not a big deal, but if you come across any floats that are null, in other words, nothing in for the float value, in your travels today, just let me know. Okay, give me the symbol. I just want to check something. If you see anything without the float, okay, it's another see what I'm pointing at here. The float. So if there's no value for the float, please let me know for something. I know I had one yesterday, but it was a large cap, so it didn't matter. Well, it matters, but not in the same way. If it's a small cap. All right, yeah, there you go. So Lucid, the reason why though, it's a large cap. Pretty sure it's a large cap stock. What I'm looking for, because dilution tracker is not going to pick this up either. I don't think anyway. Less than a minute, guys. Let me just quickly go there. I just want to see. I'm almost 100% sure. Dilution tracker is not picking that up either because it's a large cap. All I'm caring about is some kind of a small cap stock. Oh, let me see if I'm right. Yeah, you see, so here's dilution tracker. They don't have no information. Market cap is 6.5 billion. So, I mean, it would be nice to have the float. I get it, but it's more important. It's more important for us to find these. Make sure the low floaters are not going to have any no value. All right, guys. I think we're open. So typically don't trade in the first 15 minutes. Let's have a great trading day, everybody. I typically don't trade in the first 15 minutes. And then we can settle down a little bit. This will start to populate soon. Interesting. No gainers from the start of the race yet. See if one starts right now. There we go. All right. So there's open. Okay. There's the AIHS guys. AIHS. As I say, this is the one that, man, if it takes this out, that four level out, like it did earlier in the pre market, I mean, it's got a massive amount of move in it. A low float, 29 million are traded. The relative volume is only 733,000. What does that mean? That means it's trading 733,000 times normal right at 9:30. This could just run. This could just start to run. Talking about the AIHS. So you see this high in the pre-market right up here at that 441. When we look left, the area to get through was 4. So it did that in the pre-market. And if it gets through that, then there's just basically no resistance. I know it's already up 50%, but it's a very low float. No, there's the SOGP, guys. SOGP just took out yesterday's high. Yes. SOGP just took out yesterday's high. An IPDN on the move. Yesterday or Friday's high was 1085 for IPDN. SOGP ripping now, guys. Now, what's the market doing to start? Okay, so not much. VWAP. We're still sort of at the VWAP for the mark for the SPY anyway. Macy's, guys. Macy's. Look at this, Macy's. Who'd have thunk it? What a gap! What a move! 19%. And wow, there's the IPDN over 10 now. The next high looking left, 1089. It is early, but boy, this is next high is. I mean, it's got room, obviously. AI, boy, keep an eye on the AIHS guys. I mean, if it takes out 4, it's got again. I'm just going to draw your attention to the weekly chart. Look at this weekly chart. Okay, takes out 4 guys. I mean, this should just rip. There's the VWAP is down here at 361. AIHS guys, that and watching for that second time. I may break my rule here, guys. I'm not taking a trade in the first 15. I'm not trying to tell anybody to do the same thing. Just watching this AIHS holding forward really nicely. And I'm not telling anybody to do the same thing. Okay, I'm just, and I don't typically take trades in the first 15. All right, guys. Well, let's see if it has. I'm holding my breath on it. Yeah, I mean the pre-market high was way up here, but that's. I mean, you can just see that's the level. I mean, that four is the high right there on the weekly chart, right here. I'm still here. Okay, guys. Here's what I've done. I've taken some off of the AIHS. I want to hold on in case if it goes down to like 401. I'm out completely, but I want to hold on in case it has a giant move. I'm sort of protected by what I did. Don't like trading in the first 15, but this gap was so enticing to me. All right, BTBT. Let me switch. So again, this is a merger. This is some kind of a merger with this arrow velocity. Okay, so that knocked me out of the 8 IHS. Very small gain, but I'm definitely watching it again for a 4 break. All right, guys, AIHS is right back over 4, right back over 4. This is like the money machine, guys. Okay, you see the top 3 in here. I mean, at the beginning of the day, this is kind of like the money machine. Dan is going to talk about it, I guess, today. And of course, you can ask them when, and if it's going to be released in the beta this week. So here's SINT as an example. SINT. So the big deal about this one. Let's take a look at. There's the VWAP a little bit above it. Okay. Okay, guys, back. Well, let's see if this holds now. This AIHS. Yes. Okay. Okay. Now move you. Okay. Well, now this is giving. This is the move I wanted right off the bat, but sometimes it. So I like to wait. Now, granted, it's only 9:52, so 483. Wow. Okay, guys. I mean, I don't know where this is going, but I mean, this is why it's so attractive. Look at that weekly, $17. Okay, you know me, 5 could be a tough level to get through, just psychological, so I've taken some off just before that 5 level, okay, for the AIHS. It might burst right through it, but, psychological number perhaps to get through, and that's for the AIHS. I hope it just tears through that, but see, there it is. So there, the top. Just keep an eye on the top 3, especially early on in the day. There's that, GEG, guys. This is a cheap earnings play, and there's the IPDN. Wow, last time I saw it was just over 10. There's my little star right here. Try to take out 5. Take out 5. You know what? Just put a price alert just a little over 5. Reduce it upwards, maybe. Volume 49, 77,000 times normal. But you see, it has that little struggle to get through 5. What did it get? It got up to, actually got up to 505, but it's a little bit of a struggle to really take it out. Yeah, there's IP. Yeah, you're absolutely right. IP. I mean, when I saw it, I think I had a price alert at 10. I think I had, yeah, look at that. I had a price alert at 10, and it actually got halted, didn't it? Or and then what's the market doing? So the Dow's down a little, the Qs are up a little, and the SPY's up a little. So kind of flat. I didn't see anything today on the economic calendar. Well, we have factory orders at 10 o'clock, I guess. The Jolts job. Well, I guess we do have a few things at 10 o'clock. The Jolts job opening. Factory orders at 10. So there could be some little bit of market action at 10 o'clock. So close. It's just a number. It's just a number, but it's such a psychological number to get through to the AIHS is at 5. SMR guys, SMR, keep an eye on SMR. This is from has room. Yeah, it's got room. SMR came from Pepe's combo scan, 41.42. So it pulled up, a little bit of a pullback. Yeah, guys, it just, I mean, it's I always find it hilarious when these things rotate around that whole number. All right, guys, listen, MLYS, this was a nice one for me yesterday. Well, it could have been a lot nicer if it held on. This is another one from Epic Combo Scan, all-time high right now, all-time high. Where did it get up to? Got up to $30 and it closed around 29, so not a bad close. You're welcome. Excuse me. You're welcome, Sean, in our YouTube room. Mm, just, just trying to get through 5 still. AIHS trying to get through 5. All right, guys. Well, I think we're clear of 5 now. I think we are clear for a while anyway. Remember, I mean, 17 is the next high looking left on the weekly chart. So, well, it's nice when a number one focus that does what you want it to do. That was my number one focus this morning because of the room it had. So it doesn't always work that way. Well, as William says, MDID. So see you later, guys. I'll be taking off right now. So I'm going to try to follow this wave, guys. I mean, now the only problem I got with this with the wave on these really these cheap low floaters is that you see wave, you see the wave right here and how parabolic these bars are above the wave. It's a lot easier to hold on when they're, when the bars are not quite as wide. I'm not complaining, but it's a little harder to follow this wave. Let me take a look at it on a 2-minute chart. If anybody wants to know what I'm doing, you just have to ask. Again, guys, let's take a look at the weekly chart. I mean, it's still got all this ton of room. Not nobody's saying it, and it just got halted. Just got halted on the way up. So first time I'm displaying this screen, guys. This is nothing to do with trade ideas. Okay, this blue screen you see, nothing to do with trade ideas. This is time and sales from Interactive Brokers. So there's your. Sometimes you don't see the symbol, but it is a obviously AIHS halted in red, 636. This column is trying to tell you, give you a bit of a glimpse to the future as to where it could open. Okay, so if you're in this now, you want to see a number greater than that 636. But this is a usually they are 5-minute halts. It's the first halt of the day, so usually they're a 5-minute halt. So if it is, it'll open at 9:56 for 56 seconds, and we'll see what happens on the open. Well, you can't sell it. You can't sell it, Rick, while it's halted. You have to wait for the open. I'm hoping that it pops. I've done, I'm well, not quite. It could go down to zero and I'd still have made money, but I mean, it's just waiting for the. You can't sell it. Well, afterwards, I don't know. Depends what it does. First halt typically is pretty good. The first halt typically is pretty good. What I mean by that is that, many times you'll see the first halt and then it will pop above the price or hover around at least and then pop. But the only thing is this is so parabolic right now. Well, this is what you do, Rick. You whoever your broker is, you make sure you've got this time in sales or something that alerts you so that you know what the bid ask is, could be, okay? And you better put your finger on the submit button if you're going to get rid of some. I mean, for me, if it broke down through six, I'm probably out of it, out of all of it. Yeah, this is about the sixth or seventh stock that I've been in that has been halted in the last 6 months, and I would say for the previous 6 years, probably only one. So yeah, just remember. So if it is a 5-minute halt, it's going to open at 9:56 for 56 seconds. So about a minute and a half from now. So just make sure you don't wander away from your computer. Yeah, first halts. First halts are not that scary. Okay, so less than a minute. I'm gonna put this up here. Now, it doesn't have to be a 5-minute halt, okay? If it's not 5, then it's gonna be usually it's a multiple of 5, okay? So if it's not 5, then it would be a 10:01 plus 56 seconds. Okay, guys, we're 20 seconds away. Well, as I say, yeah, 10, 10, but the first halt is usually, reasonable. But I've got my finger on the submit button. Okay. Okay, I've taken most off right around the 6 level, guys. It may pop, but I've taken most off. It gets back over that halt price at 636. There it goes. I took most off right around the 6 level. I had to protect myself, but there it goes. Protecting myself, meaning I don't want to give up, tremendous gains on it. I don't want to give it all up. Low float, you never know what could happen. Well, so let's see. Let's just, for argument's sake, take a look at the cloud. I mean, it's still got room. 17 is the next high. All right. Well, you know what, guys? I mean, I'm not that keen on really finding anything else. I mean, I'll stick around, of course. But Amazon now 958. Well, let's see if I can induce it one more time. I mean, to get through that seven level again. Look at the relative volume, 39,000 times normal, and it's not a misprint. Book turnover already at 61. Okay, so on the homepage, this promo code is still alive. I think today is, in theory, the last day for it. So if you do want to take out a premium annual subscription, you can get 28%. The other three prescriptions, the two monthlies and the standard annual, you get 22%. Okay, that's how that works. Excuse me. Using these promo codes, Barry28 and Barry22. All I ask is that if you do take out a subscription, please use my code, whatever it is. Save my homepage, especially if you want to get into the main room. So those of you in YouTube, there was another trading room that they see my screen and they hear me virtually the same as YouTube, but there's a lot more action in terms of traders posting ideas. Okay, and that's how you get into it. So if you say, and you have to do this every day. So if you save my link, there's a link to get into the room. Okay, so saving my link also will always show you what the latest promos are. And scrolling down, keep it simple. Get the trade of the week. The trade of the week is sent to you before the market opens every Monday morning. This week it was Tuesday, and it is free. You sign up for the trade of the week and you don't think you're getting it, please check your spam folder. And if you have Gmail, check your promotions folder, okay? That's before you contact us, okay? So if you sign up for it and you don't think you're getting it, wow. You know what I'm missing in a huge way is SINT. I know I'm missing it in a huge way. I'm going to go over. All right. So there is now the next step to do is click on the education section. So if you're on my homepage, scroll down a bit, click on the education section. This is the first thing you must do. If you have a, if you're going to take out a subscription to Trade Ideas, we call it getting started with Trade Ideas. Like 8 or 9 short videos, okay? That'll get you started. That'll make you an expert. Trade Ideas, but it'll get you started. If you're thinking about taking out a subscription, what I would do is start off with a second video. Then it give you an idea about what our capabilities are, and that might help make up your mind whether or not you want to try us. Okay. Always start off with a monthly. You don't have to go annual. You can go month to month forever, but it's not really a subscription going month to month. Back to basics. If you're new to trading, this is for you. A free series of videos designed for you if you're new to trading. Okay. Now, looking for my scans, and if you've clicked on my homepage link, scroll down, middle section, here they are. So this is what I use in the pre-market, okay? So pre-market act is up and down. I'm going to see the top 15 up and the top 15 down. That's what I use in the pre-market. Now, this is what you can see on this on the monitor that I'm sharing with you. So this is the change up and down in 5 minutes right here. Okay. You also see negative numbers. So you can see how the AIHS is pulled back. This is the 2 minute version of it. Okay. So if you wanted a smaller time frame, a lower time frame, you could use the 2 minute version of it. This is the biggest gainers from the start of the race right here, guys. I'm going to go over this in more detail. This is the combo scan. I have not had a chance to look at it, but this is the combo scan right here, Pepe's combo scan right there. And then the gap continuation or reversal scan. I mean, wow, there's a ton of good ones right now. I can see, look at the SINT, and that's the gap continuation or reversal. I think I made a mistake here. Yeah, I forgot to check the momentum scan. That's why there was nothing showing up here. Okay, I must have unchecked this yesterday. I don't really care about this momentum scan that much anymore. But I've got so much momentum in here, and in the continuation, the gap scan. So I almost don't really need this one, but it's there if you want it. So first of all, if you're new to all this, welcome to the rooms. There are two. I moderate in a YouTube room and also in the main room, as I call it, the main room. The main room is open at around 7:30 Eastern time in the morning. Chris Varley from Trade Ideas does that. I get on the mic at around 9. Why so late? I live in Vancouver, Canada. So little early for me to open the room at 4:30 my time. I try to open the YouTube room sometime between 8:30 and 8:40. So this is a trading room, but it's also a support room. So if you have questions, you can ask me questions all day long. Okay. And if I'm tied up in a pretty wild trade like the AIHS, I'll let you know. But most of the time, I can answer your questions to the best of my ability, of course, depending on what the question is. If it's an accounting type question, I cannot answer those, but I can direct you to the people who can. I'll give you an email address. Don't be shy. You can ask me questions all day long. Don't feel that you're interrupting me, okay? This AIHS may not be over completely. Well, in fact, look at that. I don't have any more left, guys, but look at that. It just broke right through. 7 again. You see, the wave is awesome, okay? The wave is awesome. It is a very visual way of keeping it a trade. The problem I have with these low floaters, though, is that, you can get it just very hard to, when you get these wild, like that move, I went from 715 down to 6. I mean, that is a pretty dramatic move, and yet it held the wave. So if you want to understand, if you want to have the wave on your charts, just let me know. Now, let me go over this race here and why I think it's a really, really good thing to have. It doesn't have to be my race, okay? You can construct your own races with your own set of parameters. This race here is going to show you stocks that are pretty volatile. Well, I don't do it, John, typically, okay, but I mean, a lot of people, of course, will do that, trailing stops. If I'm, especially if I'm in something like this, okay, I mean, I'm really watching it very carefully. If I were in several trades at the same time, sure, I would probably have to try to use trailing stops, okay? But you have to understand that in something like this is so volatile that I am watching it like a hawk. I've got my bid and I've got my time in sales. I'm seeing how it's trading. I have an idea about where I may want to get out of something. Now, is it possible that it could blow right through that? I guess. I've just never had that really happen to me. But I'm not. I'm certainly. I mean, a lot of people use trailing stops, so my problem is I wouldn't just rely on it because I mean, sometimes a stock and just walk away because sometimes, especially on some of these, let's just say you had a 2,000 shares of this and you put a trailing stop at I don't know 654, and then you said okay. Problem is that with something like this, which is just unbelievable now, something like this, which could drop in a heartbeat through that, if you're not paying attention. And so you may get off if you had 2,000 shares, maybe you get off 100 of it or 200. Does that make sense? Because it goes blast straight through on these low float stocks. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing. but I would never just completely 100% rely on it. I'd be watching. For me, I would just watch the way it trades, and I figure out have a sort of an idea in my mind. But I'm not saying don't do it. And I'm typically only, I'm very rarely in more than 2 trades at a time. So what you don't see, I've got, if I'm in a trade, I have it on another monitor. I have the chart on another monitor. So you may not see it here. Doesn't mean I'm not looking at it, believe me. Okay. So let me go over this race and why I think if you're new to trading, or even if got a lot of trading experience, why I think this is a very, very nice watch list that is automatically created for you for the whole day. So I'm running 4-minute races, and I'll direct you to the guide later. But how you can control your race, how long you want the race to be. I've decided on a 4-minute race. No no magic to it. That's just what I'm doing. So right now we're almost 3 minutes into that 4-minute race. IPDN is leading the race. So what that means is since the race started, this is the stock that has moved the most so far. 6% IPDN. STTK is 5.5%, etc. Okay. So what happens when the race is over? There will be, just like any other race, there will be a winner declared. Now look what happened. Look at STTK, which is absolutely obviously took off. Okay. It's called the biggest gainers from the start of the race. Okay, Dragon. And it's on my homepage. It's called the biggest gainers from the start of the race. Percent. That's what it's called. And it's on my homepage. Now, see what's going to happen is more than likely, unless SCTK has a big pullback, this is probably going to win that race. We have 14 seconds left. Let me see it. I'll wait 9 seconds, and you'll see what happens is, STTK, you can see won a race before. That one will change to two. Okay, just now, so we just won a race, so that changes to two. What happens is, over the course of the day, you will see a top 10 list automatically built for you of the stocks that have won the most races over the course of the day. It's a little bit of a change here. The race gets going. It's a 4-minute race, but it's sort of like, imagine it's sort of Le Mans, and they're all revving up, revving up, revving up, revving up for 30 seconds, and then the race actually begins. Boom. Okay. So the question right now for you should be, well, why are these stocks showing up in this race? So listen to me carefully. Every race starts off from a top list window. So if I right click on this race and I open the top list, now I've limit, oops. So here's my top list window that the race is based on. So these stocks, I've limited it to just the 50 stocks, okay? But if I click on configure in summary, this is telling me why these stocks are here because the price is between 1 and 50. Current volume is at least 2, meaning it's trading at least 2 times normal up to this time of day. Obviously, some of these are a lot more. Volume is at least 200,000 shares, and it's got to be up at least 2% from yesterday's close. Okay. So if the stock meets these filter requirements, it'll be in this list. Now I've limited it to 50. I don't really need to see much more. So if I sort, remember now, top list, you can sort on any column. So if I look at if I sort on the change from the close, that's what the C percent means. And I can see that AIHS is the leader. It's up 219% from yesterday's close, and so on all the way down this list. So that's fine. But, and this is a question we get, well, I want to see a stock maybe when it just starts moving. That's what the race can do for you, because what would happen if, Triple U was pretty active at the beginning, but now it's only up 4.7% from yesterday's close. So it's down on this list. But what if UUU at the start of a race really started to move up? At the beginning of the race, and it was up 3% since the start of the race, 4%, 5%. It was really moving up. You could see it starting to move up. How would you know that? By looking at a giant list of stocks that something is moving. Well, that's what the race does. You don't have to, stare at a giant list of stocks to see what stock is moving up. Notice that a stock can be moving up. It doesn't have to be one of the ones, near the top right here on the change from the close. It could be some stock that is now just starting up. I mean, I wish I still had some of my AIHS left, but I don't. But look at this, 16%. So it's probably going to win, unless 33 seconds left, probably going to win another race. So it's going to win its sixth race. Really, really, the idea then is the ones that have won the most races over the course of the day, you can just follow them all day long because they can set up at different levels all day long. Maybe AIHS is going to pull back to a certain level. Maybe it holds. Now, you don't have to wait for a race to be over or even at the top, okay, to click on it. If you see something starting to move, just click on it. Actually, if you see anything here, just click on it and see what it is doing, okay? So I think the concept of racing, again, building a top 10 list for you to concentrate on all day long is really good, even if you're not new to trading, but it gives you really, really good focus. Now, you can create your own race. So again, I look at the configure and the summary. So for instance, if you don't like this price range I've got, or something else you don't like about it, you can obviously make some changes. And also, I mean, you may not want to follow these super volatile, okay? You may not, well, unfortunately, John, the web-based version is not being supported anymore. I don't think the races were ever available in the web-based version. I don't think ever. The race has been around for a couple of years now, but I don't think they've been available, were ever available in the web-based version. So yeah, Pepe probably can tell me. Yeah, so, okay, thank you, Pepe. So they've never been available on the web-based version. Yeah, I mean, listen, and, maybe I'm going to whisper this. Um, but what I want to tell you though, I just want to keep going on this, okay? So if you don't want to, I mean, these are very volatile stocks in here, okay? There's no, and it's not because I've put in they must be low floats or anything like that. But if you wanted to follow larger cap stocks, for instance, you could do it, or your own set of stocks. Don't make it, hopefully more than 10, but maybe you had 30 stocks that you like to follow every day. You could create a symbol list and just attach it to your top list window, and then run races just based on those stocks. But for instance, if you wanted to follow large cap stocks, then all you'd have to do is add the filter. Okay, there's market cap right there. Add the filter, and whatever you consider would be a minimum market cap, half a million, half a billion, 2 billion, whatever you want. You could stick that in there, and then you can follow larger cap stocks in a race. That might, for some of you, that might be. I mean, these are a lot of fun to be in, of course, but they're require nerves of steel sometimes. I mean, when they work, they're awesome. But if your temperament, I guess that's a better word, if your temperament is more to follow larger cap stocks, you can do that. And that's just a matter of because look at the see all races start from a top list window. So you set up your top list window as you want, and then launch the real time stock race. Okay. ABTC. I heard you guys talking about it before. Oh, well, I'm not upset. I really am not. I mean, but man, if I'd held my entire position at the beginning, my month would have been done. So tomorrow, guys, if you use, my pre-market actives up, or whatever you like to use, just take a look and see what stock certainly is active. And then when you see a stock like this that has a lot of range, or not a lot of resistance, you really have to follow it, see what happens. Doesn't mean this is going to happen all the time, believe me, but I'm all about looking left. And if it's got room, then this becomes like my prime focus. Now this can be used right here. The change up or down in 5 minutes. Okay, notice it is a change up or down, so it could be negative. Okay, so maybe it's pulling back. So you see a negative number. Again, I'm just using this. Well, look at IPDN as an example. It's a 10% pullback. Now, if you're a VWAP type player, you can see there's the VWAP. That if it's maybe hard to see, but there's a purple line on my chart. That's the VWAP. What if it had pulled back into the VWAP and held there for a while and then bounced off it? A lot of people look at the VWAP as a support area, potential support area. In this case, no. Okay, but you don't know until you click on it. You see what is it pulling back into, or maybe you've got a moving average on your chart that you like, that if you have any trading experience, that you like to see maybe a stock pull back to and see if it holds, acts as support. Okay. Give me a moment, guys. All right, Harpreet, you're asking about is Zoos setting up for an entry soon? I haven't seen Zoos. I saw Zoos yesterday. Don't recall seeing it today, but let's take a look at it. Yeah, I mean, it's got room, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know if it's an entry right now. Let's take a look at the volume. Volume's pretty light, 250,000 shares. I know it's five times normal, um, but the volume is kind of light. But yeah, looking left on the weekly chart, let's take a look at it on the daily chart. Yeah, so you can't see it. So that's what I do. If I look at a daily chart and I cannot see where the next high is, yes, I could scroll back, but what I typically do if I can't see it on the daily chart, I take a look at the weekly chart. Now, if I couldn't see that, if I don't see anything above the current price on the weekly, then I go to the monthly. But in this case, yeah, I mean, it's got room. A little bit of, well, a lot of room actually. 366. But are you talking about for an intraday trade? Are you talking about like, is it setting up for what though? Intraday or? There's Shady's HWH from yesterday. Let's take a look at it now. Back to my daily chart. That was an awesome alert by Shady yesterday. So it got up to 774 and it closed down here. So it was a big sell off at the end of the day. But now it's over yesterday's high. I'm sorry, yesterday's close. Okay, so this might have another run in it. HWH. It's just starting some volume coming in. Oh, I'm afraid to look at SMR because that showed up on the combo scan, Pepe's combo scan. So let's take a look at this. Yeah, 41. So 41.42 was the alert. $42 now, not bad. Yeah, this one not really. I mean, it got a little bit above the 3087, but how about the beam? 1970. So this one, look what it got. Well, it got to 20, and then it hit that resistance line. How about Opera? 1791. Again, you see that resistance line. So consequently, these two probably would, probably shouldn't have taken anyway. The MLYS, I mean, I may have taken it, but it would have been got over 31. But this was the one for sure, SMR so far. Ooh, here's one, guys. I haven't seen this one all day. BAOS, and this is halted. So this is the first halt of the day. 335. So there's the halt for BAOS and 335. No big clue as to where it's going to open. Yeah, SMR keeps going, guys. SMR keeps going. So there's the next high looking left for SMR. So obviously it still has some room. Not saying it's going to get there, of course, but at least you don't have to worry about daily high of day anyway, blocking you anytime soon. The next high of it on a daily chart, blocking you anytime soon. Look how much IPDN fell. I don't think this was shortable for me. Yeah, so in fact, IPDN just got halted on the way down, but it's not shortable for me, the Interactive Brokers, and it just got halted on the way down. So hopefully nobody's stuck in this one because that's a halt on the way down. All right, so I see BTBD. BTBD is, I think Shady got back into that one or something, or I can't remember anymore. But there's the VWAP, so it's through the VWAP. Yeah, I mean, look, it's got room. Obviously, 560 is the next high looking left. It did get up to 450 before it pulled. Wow, got all the way back down to 321 or underneath. What did it get up to? Got up to that, and then it came all the way back down to 243. So let's see. You know what? Might get interested at takes out four again. Yeah. So the question in our YouTube room, the daily scans. You mean daily scans? You mean what you're seeing on my screen? Nothing to do with AI or AI, Holly AI. Nothing to do with it. These are all my scan parameters. Yes. Nothing to do with the AI. Speak, Speaking of the AI, this is one, but I mean, it was pretty good for a bit. There was the alert at 123 and it got up to 153. So I don't, that was a nice percentage move at one point. It is pulling back. Let's see if it takes out the VWAP again. So now you can see kind of if you start to see new stocks in here. I haven't seen Amex at all day long. I haven't seen Move. Well, Move is just over a dollar. That's why I wouldn't see it until it broke a dollar. But I haven't seen Amex. I haven't seen that one all day long. Now, OPAD, guys, I have that one thumbnail on my other monitor. So OPAD is on the move. Again, here's the big pullback. You see that big negative number. Click on it. If you have this one, click on it. And I've limited it to just the top six, either moving up or down. Okay, that's why you only see six symbols here. Now here's one from the combo scan, and it's a short CXM. Let me see if I like this one. So if you have the combo scan, okay, anything in brown is a potential short. Um, it was interesting yesterday when the market was down so much that we had no shorts. They were all very, very good long ideas. But this is the first. So this is a short opportunity, CXM. You have to look at a weekly chart to see where's the next low, maybe. See, for me, it's too short. Sorry, too short. It's too close. If you look left on the weekly chart, 755 is now low. We're at 778 right now. So for me, there's not enough room. Now, if I'd look left and the next low was down here at 677, I'd probably be all over this one. But I'm not going to look at Macy's here. I mean, Macy's is an earnings play. On a monthly chart, I mean, Macy's has got some room. It's an earnings play, 1733. I mean, look, the longer it holds over the 1620, there's the VWAP at around 16. Let's say from RAI, it may get going, but it can be, I mean, compared to the rest of them, of course, rather boring. But well, there's, it's hard for me to answer a question like that, Harpreet, like a clean entry. Everybody has different ideas about, it's too. I mean, if I said yes, first of all, remember, I'm not a financial advisor in that regard. Your idea and my idea of what could be a clean entry. I mean, I could look at the Macy's right now and think, well, okay, you know what? I mean, it's up 20%, a lot of volume, 18 times normal. Now you take it here. It could be boring as heck, but there is a little bit of room. Boy, BTBT has not been a good one, guys. I mean, it has been really volatile. I mean, it could have been a good one, depending on where you get in and out. But I was looking to get in. Well, I had my price alert set up, on the 4 level. All right, let's take a look at KLRS. Okay, why am I looking at this one? Well, it's over the whole number. I love that. KLRS. Let's see what it's doing. Excuse me. All right, so KLRS. Any news on this one? Raymond James coverage with a strong buy and target at 23. Okay, so there's some news on it, if you want to call that news, and they've initiated. Okay, so they weren't in. According to them, they were not. This is they're initiating coverage, and so they're putting a $23 price target on a stock that's $5. Okay, and that's nobody is saying it's going to get to 23, but that's probably the only reason for the pop. I cannot see any other reason for this pop today. Now it's gone on a bit of a run, so there might have been reason. There might have been some news back here, and it's been on a nice run. So you know what? I'd be watching this over 5. The VWAP is here at 519, so maybe put a price alert. I don't know, 528 over the VWAP and see if it can. The high was 559 today. It's a low float, 82 times normal. But as always, let's take a look at the weekly chart. Where could it go before it's going to could stumble? So, it's got room to 6. Not saying it's going to get there, but it does have room to 6 on the weekly chart. So, there's a potential candidate. This is also short available for me to short at Interactive Broker. So, I mean, if it really struggles to get through the VWAP and takes out 5, it might be more of a short opportunity for a while anyway. That's the KLRS. So, Harpreet, do you have any trading experience? Not. You're saying you're getting started with trade ideas, but do you have any trading experience though, especially day trading experience, like in the Harpreet in our main room? Ah, well, see, trade ideas. I always say that trade ideas fabulous program, but it generates ideas. So, if you have some of my scans, or if you created your own scan, and you click on a symbol and it's loading into a chart, and you have no idea what the chart is trying to tell you, then it's going to be tough. Okay, it's going to be really tough. So the first thing I would do, it's going to take. I think there are only 15 videos right now. I don't know if you've already looked at them. Trading is not easy. There are really no shortcuts. So if you click on my homepage link and you click on the education section right here, and you see where it says back to basics. So if you haven't done this, I would really take a look. I think there are about 15 videos. Okay, at least that'll get you, have some idea about charting, what to look for, charting resistance, support, and resistance, things like that. Okay, at least it'll give you a bit of a basis. Otherwise, I hate to say it, you'll be floundering if you don't know what you're looking at when you look at a chart. Now, I have a certain trading style. It doesn't have to be your trading style. And, when you're starting out, you won't know what your trading style is. So what I would also try to do is you can use our simulator to practice trading. Okay, you just click on new, and then from the toolbar and click on Brokerage Plus. Now I can't, unfortunately, until we get a new beta, crazy as it sounds, I can't even demonstrate it for you. But typically, all you have to do is you click on a symbol, anywhere, any symbol anywhere. It's going to load in here, right there, and then you can pick how many shares you want to trade and the price, and then you get into it, and then you can practice trading using our simulator. The other thing, if you're starting out, as I've said before, is you might want to take a look at the race, and it doesn't have to be this race. Okay, it could be something a little less volatile. I was just saying before, maybe put a minimum market cap of half a billion or a billion. Because what will happen is it'll generate a top 10 list for you of stocks to follow all day long. Then you click, you start getting, you click on them, see what's happening. What is the chart trying to tell you? I'm looking at this KLRS. There's the VWAP. If you don't know what the VWAP is, to me, probably the second most popular indicator out there. A lot of people will look at this VWAP, that purple line, and if the stock was moving down into it, people will look at that and go, okay, will it act as support? Support meaning will it hold that level and then bounce off and continue higher? If it's below the VWAP, will it come into the VWAP and maybe that acts as resistance on the way up, and maybe as a short moving down? Right now, it's hanging at the VWAP. We don't know which way it's going to go. Okay, we don't know exactly which way it's going to go. The VWAP is 519. You can see it's right there. Um, well, not the web-based version, the market, what's it called? Market Scope has, but you can't create anything, but at least you'll get a sort of an idea, Wayne. But you can't create scans or anything like that. It's sort of so. I mean, it gives you an idea, I suppose. But let me just try to find the link. Okay, so I just put a link in, okay, for you. Now, again, it's you can't create it. You cannot create anything, but it kind of gives you a bit of an idea, I suppose. So, let's keep an eye on the KLRS, guys. I mean, it's still hanging around the VWAP area. Now, for me, if it's hanging around the VWAP area, it makes it, something to watch, but also check out the volume. You'd like to see some volume come in also. If you're going to, in my opinion, anyway, if you're going to take a trade, if you think it's popping through an area that you like to see it pop through, but it does, if it doesn't do it on any volume, then, there's no guarantee it's going to sustain. Now, even if there's a ton of volume, doesn't absolutely mean it's going to continue. But I'd like to see some volume. Volume to me is enthusiasm. There's some enthusiasm about the stock at that level. Well, you just read my mind, Shady, because move. Move is showing up now for me. It was under $1, and it would never shown up until my minimum here is $1. So MOVE, and so the next high looking left is 131 from yesterday. And then the next high after that is 134. That, well, maybe not yesterday. That's the weekly high. Now, KLRS just had the little pop, but there's really no volume. Now, when I say no volume, I mean there's 119, or is that I can't tell if that's a decimal point. It might be, yeah. So that's about 12,000 shares here. The other thing too that's kind of keeping me, 524, 535 on the bid ask, a little bit, the spread is a little bit tougher than I'd like to see. Well, Harpreet, again, especially if you're new to all this, when you see all this, I mean, it can be overwhelming. I mean, there's all these different symbols floating around. Which one do I take? Which one do I look at? That's why I'm trying to say, though, if this creates a top 10 list for you to focus on, it doesn't have to be like, as I was trying to say, this is from a top list window with my set of parameters, but I think it's very important to have some focus instead of trying to jump around. Man, what do I look at? What do I look at? Especially when you're starting out. Boy, AIHS. Now let's take a look at IPDN. I mean, is it over? Maybe not. Maybe it's found a base here. Still up, 13%. Maybe it's found a base here. Okay, guys, LPTH is on the move a bit here. LPTH is on the move a bit. The high right there is 636. So yeah, LPTH is on the move. Can't see anything on the weekly chart. So let's go to the monthly chart and see what we can see. Oh, this is an all-time high. That's right. This is an all-time high. Yeah, all-time high. Hard to believe that 628 is an all-time high, but that's what we have anyway, is an all-time high. Good spread too. Pen at 1 penny. Can't get better than that. Okay, guys, so the Dow is just down a little. The Qs are up. Well, actually, the Qs, that's a pretty big move, I guess, for the Qs. The SPY is up a little. Yeah, so this LPTH setting up, pretty well, guys. I mean, remember, it's crazy that this is an all-time high for that price, but all right, guys. Yeah, there's the KLRS, guys, halted on the upside now. And you can see the volume that came in. Okay, I did not get it. I did not. I was watching it, but I I got sidetracked with the LPTH. But that's a beautiful move. That's a tremendous move. LPTH, guys. This looks like it's got a little run in it now. I mean, it's an all-time high. The high rate here is 637. WKSB. I can't help myself from Cincinnati. I know it isn't, but guys, look left, 385. Wow. Now, here's the crazy. I doubt very much it's going to open at 455, but here is your halt at 344. And there's no way I think it's going to open at 455. But if somehow you're able to get into this one before the halt, it's looking pretty good. I'm sure this is going to come back down to closer to the 344, but yeah, not very much volume. All right. Little move now, guys, for the LPTH. Nice move now for the LPTH. So, this is from I did not get it at 618. I mean, this was early, 940. So it took an hour before it really started to move. And that's part of our AI. Very few stocks today. There's the BAOS, guys. Saw this one a little bit earlier also, but this one. All right, here's your halt for KLRS. No big clue as to where it's going to open. 591 is the halt, 591 right there. So I think this is the first halt of the day for it. Yes, it is. Okay, there's your pullback now for MOVE, M-O-V-E, big pullback. Well, big, it's a pullback down to the VWAP. All right, guys, KLRS just opened and so opened a little bit below. Okay, guys, boom, there it goes through 6. Briefly, anyway. But you can see how volatile it is. You know, the float, 3 million in the float. So it got up to 620, came back down to 578. Whew, 11 o'clock already. So, guys, today is Wednesday. So, you know what that means. Though I will confirm it, okay? Make sure that it's going to happen. So, give me a moment, guys. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Dan Merkin, the CEO of Trade Ideas. He will start his own YouTube stream. Okay, just at noon, so in about an hour from now. So, if you got questions for the CEO of Trade Ideas, now's your time. Yep, I'm sure he will. Well, I think didn't he say it was going to be 100%? Shouldn't do that. He just, he just shouldn't do that. This is not necessarily over, guys. So this AIHS, even though it's up 200%, this is not necessarily over. This is setting up maybe, okay, this is a big maybe, of course, for maybe a late day run. Remember, it's got all that room to 17. Not saying it's going to get there, but look how it's basing. So the initial frantic action. Now look how it's kind of basing on the 5 minute, 15 minute for sure over the VWAP. It may happen sooner. If you get some volume, it could just pop again. The high of the day was 828 or so. All right, guys, give me a moment. Yeah, man, this is a nice base, guys, for the AIHS. And look at the cloud right there. Okay. The blue wave, it hasn't broken. Even with all this, these pullbacks and all that, it never broke. So yeah, the KLRS really had a pretty big pullback, and then it just popped right back up. Okay, guys, I'm going to generate a new list. Okay, I'm going to exit trade ideas and then come back in. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to, I mean, you can still have my momentum scan, but I'm not going to watch. There's just too many other things going on that to me are just more interesting. So I have a gap right there, so I don't know what I'm going to fill it with. Or just maybe make this a huge, it's going to look a little crazy, but because I'm just not looking at the momentum scan. So, I mean, if you can still have it, it's still on my homepage. I won't get rid of it, but so now we'll get a new top 10 list for the afternoon. And this got halted again. Man, oh man, what a miss by me. I just kept talking about it. All I needed was volume. So Harpreet, that was a setup. Okay, you were asking about what would be a good entry setup. Well, I kept talking about this one. Could it hold the VWAP? It was right around the VWAP area. Do they all do this afterwards? Of course not. But oh yeah, okay. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but yeah, Dan is definitely going to be starting a YouTube stream, his own. Okay, so he likes to start his own. So I will put the link in before I take my break at noon. Okay, I see this NWGL, the Nature Wood Group Limited. Don't think I've ever seen this one. Yeah, but I think it shot. I think it went way too far down. I can't remember, Rich. I know what you mean, but I think it actually went too far down. I don't mind it dipping below the halt price. Now, of course, I did a reboot, so I can't remember what the halt price was. But I'd like to see it within 10 cents. Not I think it didn't it dip down to like 30 or 40 cents below. And wasn't it halted around what was the first halt? Because it got all the way back down to 553. So Jay, yeah, I'm sure Dan at noon will start demonstrating what the money machine looks like right now. This is from our YouTube room. So in about 45 minutes from now. Okay, that's a little too gigantic. Yeah, the problem is now you can't see the percentages. So I kind of blew this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load this again. Just give me a moment. By making it so big, now I can't see the percentages over there. So because these percentages refer to the how much it's up for the day. So yeah, so give me a moment. I'm just going to load it. Actually, okay. So I just have to figure out what do I want to fill this up with. Maybe I could do something like this. All right, guys. Questions? Any questions? Sort of a lull now for me. So let's see what this AIHS is pulling back to. Obviously, remember how it was basing beautifully, but now, it's basing beautifully, but now look at it, it's starting to drop and it's getting through the VWAP. So it may be over. It may be over. I mean, there's the VWAP right there. Guys, STI is having a little bit of a move here, guys. STI having a bit of a move. Over 6, having this little move here. Okay. Trying to break. Let's see if the cloud turns blue. So this one is still up 92%. It's had a pretty big pullback from the highs of the pre-market, 879, got all the way down to 560. Okay, guys, give me a moment. What time is it right now? 11:19. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Okay, guys, I'm back. Yes, I did. Well, it depends what you mean by early, Alan, but yes, that was my big trade of the day for the AIHS. Didn't hang on right to the very top, but yeah, I did very well on it. Um, well, not in the pre-market, if that's what you're talking about. It was within the first 15. I don't generally trade in the first 15, but and I actually traded it twice. But right around that, I traded just before the 945, and then look at 945. And I love to say I held on all the way up to 8, not quite, but did did quite well on it. We saw this in the pre-market, of course, so that's why we were prepared for something that might have happened like this. There was no guarantee that was going to happen, of course, but I mean, looking left, it had all that room. That's okay, Alan. Tomorrow there'll be another one. So I see the WKSB came out of its halt and did an amazing move. So again, it may not be over. AIHS, it's up now 6.6. Yeah, KLRS, big drop. BAO. You see these big negative numbers coming in, guys. So, again, how to use this? Well, click on it. See if it's pulling back into an area that you like. So what William is saying is that Meta went from green to red, definitely weaker than the market. Well, remember I was talking about Macy's and thinking, well, maybe it could have a pop. Nope. It you got stopped out from our AI. Well, you can see what this one did. It's NWGL, okay, this Nature Wood Group. The high today was 150. You can see the high in the week is right there at 150. Now that's the high right there, 150. So if it can take that out, I'm going to put a price alert around 155. If you can take that out, then you start looking left and look at the room it's got. Well, this is a China stock. I can't remember if this is one of those ones that just dumped in that day. Well, market is so the high today was looking at 644 marks, I guess. So since then, since 11 o'clock, 11:05, we've been at sort of a steady drop, half an hour. So, if you're in stocks like the Amazons and the Metas and the Apples, they're probably moving down. All right, guys. Well, I'm not seeing too much right now other than pullbacks on all these stocks that were really ripping at the beginning. So VAOS, so there was the high looking left, which it took out 437. It's right there now. And it did get up to, wow, $5. Oh, here's a new one, guys. FCUV. I haven't seen. Well, at least I haven't seen this one today. FCUV. Little bit of room to three on the weekly chart. A little bit. Volume just popped in here. YouTubers, I'm going to do something you're not going to like, maybe, but I'm going to end the stream. Okay. I'm just going to try something here. I'm going to end the stream. I will come back in about 5 minutes or so, but I'm going to end it. I don't know how many people are on YouTube right now, but I'm going to end it. Just want to see something.